Welcome. I'm the Parliament Raven. Before you is a tower of brick. This ginormous structure stretches to the sky beyond the clouds, so high up as you peer up, your neck hurts and you cannot see the top from standing by the doors below. It's been built through hard work. There is cheering and parades and dancing all around you. People drink and eat like a fair. And as they do, as all this occurs, dark clouds gather upon the sky. Thunder and lightning then can be heard, and people start to feel uneasy and wearing. And then, without warning, lightning strikes the tower over and over again, shattering pieces, sending it toppling to the ground, scattering people. And as everyone does, the clear language that everyone was speaking and could be heard, now some people are speaking gibberish. You can't understand some, and others speak a different type of gibberish. And soon, many people are speaking different things. This is the story of the Tower of Babel. But how did we get here? How did this story end with us being scattered to the four winds? Welcome. Pull up a seat, pour yourself a cup of tea. My name's Jason Rodriguez, and I'm the Parliament Raven. And today we're going to talk about Nimrod and his rebellion and how we got there. Nimrod, one of the first god kings and the founder of Babel. Well, we'll get to his story in a minute, but let's go back in his genetic lineage, his line, if you will. And this all starts after the Great Flood. Noah and his family have been in rain for 40 days and 40 nights and have finally found land. And Noah plants a vineyard and makes wine to celebrate not being on a boat anymore, but also probably to deal with the trauma of seeing everybody he knew other than his family member perish. Noah drinks and gets drunk. And the word says his son, Ham, the youngest, sees him in his nakedness and then goes tells his brothers, who cover up his nakedness. Now, this is a metaphoric story or an analogy in the word, and anytime when we see uncovering somebody's clothing or nakedness, we are talking nominally about physical relations. I'm trying to keep this G for my audience. Physical relations. And in this case, this is the one time where the word says in the Hebrew shows that physical relations in this case means Noah's wife, and that Ham had relations with her. And ultimately, this leads to Noah's wife producing a child for Ham by the name of Canaan. And the Lord is not happy with this, and neither is Noah. And Noah curses Canaan to be a servant of servants, and he shall be this to all time to his brothers. So rather than this story continue in repentance, we have the two older brothers who reveal this, who cover up their dad's shame. The younger brother tried to take over the family through this. This is not a untypical story for the time period that this is written, right? Young men would try to take the crown or the family by sometimes taking their mother or a wife of their fathers. So you have this descendant being cursed. You have Ham kind of being relegated to almost oblivion. But let's take a look. Ham has Cush, and Cush has Nimrod. And Ham's name means the heat, and Cush's name means of darkness, and Nimrod means rebels. The heat of darkness rebels. The hot anger of darkness rebels, right? We can translate it to that. Nimrod's very name meaning to let us rebel. So we see this through the line that sin likes to go through and be inherited from one person to another. It's up to someone to break that, but at this point there is no breakage. Instead, we have Nimrod moving forward to become this great hunter. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, Genesis 10:9. Even more so, he was a mighty man, right? He was the first on earth to be a mighty man, Genesis 10:8. You can consider that a type of demigod, if you will, or even a god, powers that are beyond man. And the only reason I say and reflect on them as demigods or gods is I think of a good focus of what this means is if you look at Roman history and understand how they perceive gods and what gods can do, this is what mighty men in the Bible can do. David killed a bear. He killed a lion. He killed a giant. Samson brought down a house. You have other mighty men taking on 800 men alone and winning, and other giants themselves and winning. And these guys are considered mighty men, above the average, above par, of a different level of humanity. And Nimrod was considered the first of these. The person whose name means let us rebel is the first of these mighty men. So God commands Noah, as he commanded Adam and Eve, be fruitful and multiply, and then adds, and spread across the earth. Okay, well that's, all right, that shouldn't be too hard. Humankind loves to be fruitful and multiply. Spreading across the earth, though, is a bit scary. And Nimrod, not being the most one to follow orders or rules, starts to think of other things. For instance, he was such a great hunter, he started hunting people, men. His hunting became not just animals, but humans themselves. The Targum says he hunted the sons of men, hunter, conqueror, enslaver, empire builder. These are the thoughts. And you see the foundation of Nimrod becoming this god king, right? He's beyond humankind. He's the greatest hunter that there is. He comes from the line of Noah, who saved everybody that's currently alive because their root of their family was that. They're still living a long time. Their ages have not shrunk down to just a mere 100 years. But this is the first time that we see that someone doesn't want to lead people, but they want to own them, and they crave to be elevated by them. On the backs of people, Nimrod is going to do something that he's called not to do. He's going to create a city, right? The first kingdom, the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Genesis 10:10. Cities concentrate labor, religion, and armies, creating taxes. So he's consolidating power. He has men under them. He's forcing people into districts. Some people are building the walls. Some people are guarding the walls. Some people are making the food, and other people are farming. He's put people into categories and stratus them into a pyramid, as any monarch would do. This very action goes against God's blessing of multiplication. He said, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth, Genesis 9:1, but instead, Nimrod is going to consolidate power, multiply here, and control everything as if every human under him is livestock to be a commodity or commoditized. So Babel is outright defiance. It's a build up to heaven, make our name great, replace God's authority with our achievement. Cities become man-made unity without God. Well, the God in this case is going to be Nimrod. So Nimrod turned this all into his kingdom, his community, and we see even today, as we have our cities, this overarching blueprint still exists in society. Even in cities, we have our strata of the haves and the have-nots and the haves in between. And you can keep going through history, and every time there's a city that occurs, unlike villages where there's a more equality or more egalitarian leadership, the natural structure of humanity seems to be a community. The natural structure of Nimrod is taking that community and compressing it into power structures. For instance, let's compare Nimrod and Abraham. Nimrod built cities, and Abraham built altars to the Lord, and that's places where he had to continually be on the move and build. He was a huntsman. Nimrod was a huntsman, while Abraham was a welcoming person of strangers. He fed messengers, he gave tithing to kings, and he was definitely, though sometimes a liar, a man of a different mindset. Nimrod took land, and then Abraham receives his land through promise from God. Nimrod makes his name great. He rises up, of course, to the shattering of the Tower of Babel and man being sent across the earth with different languages, while Abraham gets a promise from God that God will make him great. Nimrod seeks to create his empire, and Abraham seeks to expand and form a people, a family. And in Genesis 12:12, I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. And that was his promise to Abraham, right? So where Nimrod forms nations by force, Abraham fathers a nation by covenant and faith. So how is this applicable? Why did I bring you along on this story about Nimrod, other than to say cities have never been the bestest of places ever because they were not found with that in mind? Let's take a look at which kingdom you are building. Modern Babylon isn't a place, but it can be a pattern, right? Big brands replacing identity, churches as businesses, unity without God, influence without discipleship, crowds without covenant, clubs with tithing. We build Babylon or Babel when we chase fame more than we chase faith. We gather people and we don't shepherd them. We don't build into legacy. We build platforms without prayer. And we love crowds, but not community. Big group, all agrees. For instance, and I've brought this up in prior, or going to a sporting event of any kind, you're building a crowd without community. I mean, yes, it's kind of a community in the cult-like sense of the word. We all believe in the same thing, but if you don't, people are not going to like you, and sometimes they'll get violent. I'm talking to you, soccer hooligans. So, when we build Abraham's family, the root that we are tied into, we value relationship over numbers. Think on that. We let God make our name known. That's why you don't see me doing 1,000 different things trying to push the algorithms. But please help me with my algorithms. We care for people more than projects. And we prioritize covenant over popularity. Our yes mean yes and our no mean no. If you want a little clarification about that last thing, I want you to reflect on that. What are you building in your life? Are you building a place of your own kingdom, your own Babel? And Remember, Babel is now dust and dirt in the sand. Abraham's story continues to this day, right? Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham. It's a song. It's old. I know. I'm an old guy. Look at the gray. If you want more of that, I'm sure there's a version in Apple or Spotify. As you sip your tea, why don't you reflect? Are you multiplying life, managing people? Are you building community or building a brand? And hopefully, that question for me, I'm looking to build community. If you're here thinking I'm building a brand, I'm doing a pretty bad job about it. Are you letting God make your name great? Or are you constructing a tower to make your own name great? And we know what happens to towers, especially in California, after a good shaking up. And by the shaking, I mean earthquakes, for those of you who need clarification. Babylon still arises every time humans try to unite without God. EU, I'm looking at you. Abraham's family rises every time we choose covenant over control. Churches, that's a one to meditate on. So, how do I challenge you, Parliament? How do I challenge you with this information? What can we do this week with all the things I just gave you? Well, choose one way to build relationships this week. Okay, I got a list. Call someone who is alone, invite someone to dinner, serve someone with no credit or platform, pray with someone, not just for them. Give them a call. Pray with them. See them face to face. Pray with them. Okay. No crowds, no towers, just family. That's what I have here in my notes. So, take another sip. Thanks again. Remember, hit like or subscribe. It helps somewhat with the algorithm. We're up to 100 people. Woo! 1,000, here we come, right? There's Discord. Feel free to join it. If you're looking for a cool shirt, there's the shop. If you're looking for cool writings, there's the Substack, and you can find that all on parlor@raven.com. There's links at the top that can take you there. If you're interested in giving me some ideas for podcasts, I would surely appreciate it. Please visit theparliamentraven.com, and there is a tips page. Please submit your tip, and I will hunt it down myself. For more information on the things we talked about, I will try to put some links below to the best I can. Till next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep walking the path with intention. If you'd like to go deeper, the Parliament doesn't end here. We have a Patreon where you can access extended teachings, reflections, and tools. The conversation continues in our Discord where seekers, creatives, and thinkers gather to discuss just about anything. And if you want gear for the journey, you'll find shirts, mugs, and more at the Parliament shop. All the links are in the description below. Thanks for walking the road with us. We'll talk again soon. Some ending music credits. Intro music by Russ Budgeon. Outro music by the Parliament Raven. Music arrangement by Sonoea. Bring your fears, scorch snaps, not